Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me the truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect that are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. To you I say, Shalom. So yeah, there's going to be a quick WW3 update. And I got a few articles I want to link together showing you how the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Shai, is orchestrating, these different nations and getting them ready for, World War III, the war to end all wars, which is the war of Armageddon, in which the Lord would pretty much submit his dominance within the earth by taking down all these different nations. All right, and delivering his chosen elect of the nation of Israel, of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, whom, these nations have conspired against to keep it in the base level, to keep you oppressed, to keep you in a state of servitude when you were meant to rule the earth. And so our Lord Yahweh was going to send back his son Yahweh Shai to deliver the elect, all right, from the four winds of the earth, pursuant to Matthew 24. But the main deliverance is going to come right here in America, all right, which is known as modern day Egypt, or modern day Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. And so the elect are looking forward into World War III because we know these things are written in the scriptures and they must come to pass before this great salvation. So without further ado, let's get into it from our end time headlines. It says, Powder Keg, massive American flag burning protests erupt across the Middle East. All right. So yeah, Israel basically destroyed or killed, assassinated two of Iran's generals, all right, just like America did back in 2000. And we say assassinated, I think it was General Soleimani, if I'm not mistaken. Well, here it is, you got Israel doing the same thing. So they're burning not only Israel flags, but American flags, because they're in the same damn bed together, okay? So the Bible speaks about the destruction of America and also the destruction of Israel, okay? So we're going to get into that. It says huge American flag burning protests have erupted across the Middle East as Iranian protesters gather to condemn the Israeli airstrike against Iran's consulate in Syria on Monday. Photos and videos show large groups of protesters shouting anti-Israeli and anti-U.S. slogans, right? Like DTA, Death to America, in Tehran, while burning U.S. and Israeli flags, and they show of frustration and anger. Yeah, so basically, Iran is fucking fed up. They're fed up with America's bullshit and also Iran's bullshit. They're tired of being bullied. Okay, so eventually, they're gonna have to protect themselves, man. All right, as these two nations are pretty much picking on Iran. All right, and Iran, as we should know, is being backed up by Russia, and that's also what we're gonna get into in this lesson. All right, so let's go to this other article right here from End Time Headlines, where it says fears of World War III growing as the Middle East begins to spiral out of control. Okay, so the Middle East is turned up over there, and what these two nations are doing is they're pretty much forwarding their demise, because what Israel is doing is basically reckless. All right, as they understand and know that they have America behind their back, protecting them, and they're pretty much using that as an excuse to, cause all kinds of havoc in the Middle East. So real quick, right here from Natural News, it says, far from being an ally, Israel is actually America's most dangerous enemy. You see this? Israel is America's most dangerous enemy. It says right here in the bold, Netanyahu is America's most dangerous radical friend. In light of these events, Netanyahu's behavior is erratic and dangerous, as he seems willing to do anything to involve America in a war with Iran, which is biblical, okay? This may be his only way of ensuring Israel's survival, although its chances look bleak due to Netanyahu's actions. Consequently, he appears to be taking an all-or-nothing approach, which could lead to disastrous consequences for both him and Israel, okay? So due to their recklessness and knowing that America's, backing them up, all right, they're basically going to make the wrong move, as they're doing now, what is going to provoke an attack on Israel. And that's when America's going to jump into it. and they're going to be, destroyed as well by Russia, China, Iran, and the different various countries. Even America's allies are going to destroy America. So let's get into this other article real quick. So it reads, Iran is poised to launch a terrifying October 7 style revenge attack in Israel, you see, and could then turn its eyes to targets in the UK. The chilling warning comes after Israel allegedly blasted a consulate in Syria, killing 7, including a top Tehran general. Experts have warned that a future retaliation by Iran, which is well known to have backed terrorist groups including Hezbollah and Houthi rebels, would spark a global war. See? So let's read this next line. They claimed Russia, China, and North Korea could stand by their pals and Iran in any future conflict involving the country. And this is Ezekiel 38 that we're reading right here. Primarily dealing with Russia. They're going to stand by their pals, Iran. And, when you read again, and so when you get Ezekiel 38, it pretty much goes into how the Most High is basically orchestrating and stirring up this war that we see being brewed up. So verse 1 says, And the word of the Lord Yahweh by Shemel Shai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. This is talking about Russia today. And prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, all right, Yahweh by Shemel Shai, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Right, because the Lord's indignation is upon all nations, but at the same time, he's using these different nations, working on the minds of these kings to bring destruction to America and also the land of Israel. All right, again, for what they have done to the Lord's chosen people. Okay, and so it goes on to say, verse 4, And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. And so what this is saying is the fact that the Most High is going to pretty much work on the minds of these Russians to be pissed off at these two nations. Turn them back into that old Soviet mindset to where, they're ready for war again. So the Lord is turning them back and getting them ready to nuke these two nations, America and also the land of Israel. So it says again, And I will bring thee forth in all that army, horses and the horsemen, all right, which goes into your modern day, military equipment, your tanks and so on and so forth, and military men, horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, so they're getting ready for war. So verse 5 says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. See? With who? Gog and Magog, Russia. All of them with shield and helmet. And we know that Persia today is Iran. So it goes on to say, Gomer and all of his bands in the house of Togomor of the north quarters, and this represents Turkey today, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. So be thou prepared, Russia, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, all your allies, okay? And be thou a guard unto them, all right? So Russia is a guard unto Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, all right? And again, Persia is Iran today. And this is exactly, what we just read in this article, where it says they claim Russia, China, okay, and North Korea could stand by their pals in Iran in any future conflict involving the country. So while Israel is provoking Iran to retaliate, if they shoot something at Israel, America's going to have to jump into it. All right. And if America jumps into it, then guess who else has to jump into it, man? All right. Russia and all these different various nations as well. We know that China, Turkey, okay, little rocket man from Korea, North Korea, and many more, man. So the Lord is laying the snare for America and the land of Israel. And America doesn't want to be pulled into this war, but Israel is going to make that happen anyway. So let's go to real quick the least of the flock. And so there's two scriptures on the least of the flock, which would be the false JW, the Amalekite, the false Jew in the land of Israel today. All right, so let's read the first one, Jeremiah 4:9-20. And so basically you got two of the same scriptures, just worded differently to let you know and pinpoint exactly who this is targeting. So Jeremiah 4:9-20 says, therefore here's the counsel of the Lord. You see, this is the counsel of Yahweh that he had purpose against Edom. And so to find out, exactly who this is talking about, what landmass, when you read Jeremiah 50:45, it say the same thing but worded differently. Therefore hear you the counsel of the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah that he had taken against Babylon. You see that? So you see how Edom and Babylon are two in the same. All right? They're one and the same. So this is talking about America, Babylon the Great. So back in Jeremiah 4:9-20, it says, and his purposes that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Okay, now let's read this in Jeremiah 50:45. And his purposes that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. You see, land of the Chaldeans, because the Chaldeans represents the warlocks and witches of ancient Babylon, and today you have the same thing going on with America in modern day Babylon. So as you go back up, all right, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Now, the least of the flock represents the least of the nations. Esau, Edom, primarily dealing with the Amalekite, the false JW over there in Israel. So the least of the flock is going to draw who out? America, Babylon the Great, out into this war. The word draw right there goes into drag. All right. It says, surely he shall make the habitations desolate with them. You see that? So the least of the flock is going to make Babylon desolate along with them. And this is talking about the ultimate destruction of both of these nations. All right. So when you go back to Ezekiel 38 and let's see here. Let's go to verse 10 real quick. Now this is talking about Gog and Magog coming up against America. Verse 10. So it says, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh by Shemashah, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind. All right. Look up so on to real quick Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord is working on the minds of these kings, set on these different scenarios that's going to allow this great destruction to take place. And so Ezekiel 38:10 again, thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. All right, and what is that evil thought? To come up against America. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, a place that is not protected. All right, because America's defense system is feeble. It says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. It's got to be America. All of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. So America's defense system is weak, and it's not going to be able to withhold itself against these nukes that are going to be shot over there in America. Okay? So it says, verse 12, it says, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. That land is talking about America, okay? And so the land of America will be a spoil, all right? We just read how, matter of fact, let's go back real quick, because I missed the point. Let's go back to Jeremiah 49, and I believe 20. Okay, we just read Jeremiah 49:20. So when you read 21, it says, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. Whose fall? Babylon the Great. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. All right. So yeah, to find out who that's talking about, when you go to Jeremiah 50, real quick, verse 46. All right, pretty much the same scripture, but it is worded differently to let you know who it's talking about. So as you just read 45 before, when you go down to verse 46, so it says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, see, America, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. And this is basically Russia spearheading the attack. So as you just read in Ezekiel 38, in verse 12, it says, after that evil thought was put into their mind, that they were going to pretty much take a spoil. That's going to be America being spoiled by the nukes. And so when you scroll on down, dealing with Israel, and verse 18, it says, and it shall come to pass at the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power, that my fear shall come up in my face. Let's read this in the NLT. But this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh by Shemashah says, when God invades the land of Israel, my fury will boil over. Okay, so this is the Lord causing God to come up against the land of Israel, all right, with nukes. So verse 19, KJV, it says, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Okay, that fire is going to come from the nukes. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, all right, an earthquake by the way of the nukes. Okay, because America is going to shake so badly that the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard, all right. That's why the scripture says that the cry was heard in the Red Sea, but also the land of Israel is going to be shaking as well, So the Lord is orchestrating destruction for both of these nations. And this is because the Lord is jealous for what these two nations have done to his holy people, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. So he's preparing a great slaughter because of that. And when you read Joel, the 2nd chapter, in verse 18, it says, then will the Lord Yahweh be jealous for his land, see, and pity his people. So Lord is jealous for his land. Which the heathen have party. You got the Palestinians over there and these false Jews, fucking up the land. Tel Aviv, the gay capital of the world, man. Okay. So the Lord is pissed off on how they have taken the land into their possession, with spitefulness of joy of heart, trodden down his people. So vengeance is coming, all right, for the sake of the elect. So this is good news when we hear about World War III, because we know that the Lord is doing this for the deliverance of his people, all right, and ultimately for his glory. So with that, Lord willing, you're edified. Until next time I say, Shalom.